There's huge news for today at Sim Racing Expo. Fanatec will unveil finally the podium wheelbase and also the podium pedals. But wait, there's also more because Assetto Corsa not only is going to release soon version 0.4 of EVO, but also Kunos is going to release Assetto Corsa Rally. I got exclusive access to this information for today. Well, not just only me, but a lot of people as well. And there's a lot to talk about. Let's start with the Fanatec equipment first. Aluminum is the big thing for this release of both the podium lines that are going to have the podium DD and the podium pedals. Both of them will be released around the first quarter of 2026, so early next year. I'm not sure when I'm going to have one for review, if the reviews are coming earlier or not, or if I'm going to get one unit for review at all. But anyways, for this podium DD, it's going to replace the DD2. I'm not sure what's going to happen to the DD1, and they haven't said anything, as at least as far as I understand it, about PlayStation compatibility. Maybe there will be a PlayStation compatible version later on, or maybe the DD1 equivalent will be PlayStation compatible, but I don't know. So this will have 25 newton meters of holding torque. That's a huge number for Fanatec. That was the peak torque for the DD2, but the peak overshoot that is going to be for this podium DD, it will be 33 newton meters. So it's definitely quite a lot of power they're going to put here. And it's basically on the same shell as the Club Sport DD. The footprint should be pretty much the same, if not just a little bit bigger, but it's on the same shell as you'd see. It's a bit of a downgrade for me from the DD1 because I did like how the DD1 looked. And also I did like the small LED. Unfortunately, as far as I can see, there won't be any LED screen over there to tell you the torque and all of that, but whatever. It works. That will be just fine. But the thing for them to build it like here in this structure is the same thing that they did for the Club Sport DD. It's basically thermal cooling and thermal management. I've talked with the engineer a few years ago about the Club Sport DD, and it is totally true. They have done a lot of work on a Club Sport DD to not have any sort of heat issues at all. It's a wheelbase that does it better than every other wheelbase that I review in terms of heat. It's always cool. And with this, they further optimize it because you're going to have more power through this wheelbase. And they have done additional internal heat sinks for the PCBs. And they also have a new aluminum shaft so it can resist more torque. So they change the internals, or they further improve the internals to have more power being able to be used by this wheelbase. So it's an evolution. You see definitely an evolution from the CSLDD to the Club Sport, now to the podium. Everything is in the same shell. It's for cost saving, but everything is done to maximize the technology that they have and to further improve on the technology that they have. So a new aluminum body, new aluminum motor shaft, bearings as well. They were going to have a new custom designed servo motor that is developed in Germany, and they have optimized skew angle on rotor magnets that reduce cogging, apparently. This is very similar to what Conspit is doing as well on their Aris wheelbases, and that works quite well. So I'm really interested to check how this is, because the Club Sport, you do feel the poles when it's laying on rest, but it doesn't really matter when the wheel is turned on, because the wheel becomes really smooth. And also it will be having a improved version of full force, but full force only is available at the moment in iRacing, and full force actually works quite well in iRacing. But I want to see more titles with full force, because it's a bit of a dead on arrival type of technology if nobody really supports it. But I suppose that in Assetto Corsa's, on the Assetto Corsa EVO and also Assetto Corsa Rally, it should be there eventually. And also at launch, there will be a 10 centimeter shaft extension optional. That's something that you would normally buy through Simube and other Chinese brands, to have an extra shaft for this. And if you have an option for the shaft, it's also going to be pretty good, because some people would like to have, the wheelbase as further away from you as possible, because they want to have the monitor as close to you as possible. this is exciting, and I really want to see how it's going to be versus the Club Sport DD. But at some point, torque is not just the thing; it really needs to be about the details. But for me, what is truly exciting is something that I've been waiting for 7 years now, which will be podium pedals and even Club Sport pedals. We need Club Sport pedals, but it's good that we're going to have podium pedals. And for the podium pedals, the first thing that came to my mind, even though it's not really the thing, would be the Black Fat Cat pedals. It's kind of similar in terms of the overall language of the design that they've used, but physically they're not the same at all. But it was the first thing, especially with the formula versions. So there are two versions of the podium pedals. There's going to be a 2-pedal version and a 3-pedal version. The 2-pedal version is more directed to formulas, and the 3-pedal versions are more directed to everyday use. But they are somewhat interchangeable. But for the podium pedals, 2-pedal versions, you'll see that it's more formulaic. This is going to be developed, or was developed, in conjunction with Igor Fraga. He gave feedback for it, probably for his experience in not only in Gran Turismo, but in his professional driving, I think, in Japan. And apparently there's going to be a forged aluminum brake pedal. It's industry first, they claim. I'm not sure how relevant it is because, well, trying to get the industry first, that doesn't really matter if the pedals are already good enough, whatever. Anyways, they also say that they have a patented elastomer compression control to never overstress the elastomers. However, there's already a pedal that does that, and has been around for a couple of years, 3 years, maybe even. They're called IMSIM Talentos. I've used them in my rig for about 2 or 3 years. They've done it just fine without the patent, but if you want to see something like this without just looking at the images, you can see my review of the IMSIM Talentos. The thing about having a control of the elastomer, especially when you do the elastomer will have a certain curve for the compression, and after you go over the curve, the elastomer loses property and actually squishes just like gummy bears. So if you maintain the elastomer movement, you will always going to have a consistent braking feel no matter what, and it's going to be up to the limit of the elastomer when the limit is useful. They're going to make it easier to adjust every single pedal without any tools, which is pretty good, something the IMSIM Talentos did as well. And for the 2-pedal pieces, it's going to be there's going to be carbon fiber pieces on both the pedal faces and also on the heels. So the dentist chair kind of pedals that you'd see Dan Suzuki talk about, they are going to have something similar to that. Now, for the 3-pedal package, apparently it's developed ground up in Germany. That's why it takes so long, I suppose. Everything will be CNC machined aluminum. It's going to be Hall sensor. The brake is going to be calibrated for 150 kilo, but it's going to be a 200 kilo load cell, custom made, they say, with a patented elastomer compression and a tool-free travel and resistant adjustment. Hopefully it's something really, really cool. This is going also to have a tilted kind of, you can also change the tilt of the pedals, first on the Fanatec pedals as well. That means it's going to be closer in terms of how it looks to the Assetto pedals, but with better tilt adjustment, so a mix between whatever you see on the Hoisingveld type of a scenario and the Assetto. But in my opinion, these pedals look really nice. For the clutch, it's going to be also a tool-free to change the bite points. And you can also, for this, if you use this for the consoles, if you buy these for the consoles, the software is going to have the brake curves and throttle curves that you can take over that from the PC into the console, so it will be on the memory as well. As for mounting options, this is actually quite interesting. It's the first Fanatec set that is not a bundle. So it is a set of pedals that each pedal can be mounted separately. That means if you don't want to buy the heel rest, you don't need to buy the heel rest. If you don't want to mount on a pedal plate, you don't need to do that. If you want to mount this inverted, you can do that. And this is the same for the 3-pedal version and the formula version. But for the formula version, mounting this inverted will be kind of silly because they do come with the heel rest, and mounting, inverted with the heel rest wouldn't make sense. As for the podium pedals, they're exactly the same thing as the other ones, but it's a 2-pedal package. And for the pedal faces, it will be a carbon pedal face with some limiters and also a heel rest. But everything else is the same. And if you want to use this on your console, you can do that via RJ cable to the back of your wheelbase, or you can connect directly like any other pedal set that Fanatec has done, or any other pedal set in the market. So what I like about this, I'm not really sure about the prices, because this can be like prohibitive or whatever. Sometimes Fanatec is a bit crazy with their prices. But what I like about this is that the design language is definitely much more involved, and it feels really well designed. But that's just the hardware. The software is also equally as exciting, if not more so, because hardware is just hardware at the end of the day. For Assetto Corsa, there's a lot of news for Assetto Corsa, both EVO and the new title Assetto Corsa Rally. But let's start with EVO. For the 0.4 Expo preview, and actually there's going to be this launched for the 0.4 version, there's a lot of news, or a lot of content coming over. The first one is Nürburgring. We're going to have Nürburgring on all its layouts, including the 24 hours, the GP, sadly not the free roam. So some of you will want the free roam. You'll have to wait for that a little bit more. And it's going to include the bridge to gantry. So I hope we get also the tourist one, because, some of the cars that are available in the Assetto Corsa, are essentially cars that you take towards Nordschleife to race around. This is super, super interesting to see how it's going to be socially, because you really want to drive this socially like we did in the Assetto Corsa. Very, very exciting. We also have Alton Park coming in, something that we had from Assetto Corsa Competizione. But also, Road Atlanta. Road Atlanta is coming to Assetto Corsa EVO. And I love Road Atlanta. I love me some Road Atlanta. I love that track in IMSA. I love it. And we're going to have, some cars coming over that hopefully allow for multi-class. And speaking of those cars, we're going to have the Ferrari F40 Le Mans. So if you enjoy a good GT legend, this is the one. This is the one you're going to have. I really love that car. And for road cars, that's going to be used very likely in Nürburgring. We're going to have the BMW M3 CSL, the E46. So huge monster, lovely car, very light. We're going to have the Porsche Cayman 718 GT4 RS, something that was already available in Competizione. We're going to have a special Mini Cooper, the John Cooper S, that it's going to be equipped with the B16 conversion kit. So for those of you who love Hondas and love that 1.6, it's going to be there. So fantastic. I just can't wait how that's going to be driving. We also have the Ferrari Daytona SP3. For me, not so exciting as the F40, because the SP3 it's okay, I guess. And the Toyota Supra Mark IV. And there's going to be a version, I believe, that's going to be drift version that we already had in Assetto Corsa. So hopefully the physics are also going to support better drifting, because for a lot of people it was difficult to drift with the Assetto Corsa EVO. And hopefully that the physics parts of it is kind of fixed. Now, this is going to be super interesting. I'm not sure when it's going to be releasing the 0.4, but it will be available to test in Sim Racing Expo. Sadly, I'm not there to test it this year, but hopefully, cross, fingers, very, very soon. But wait, there is more, because we're also going to have Assetto Corsa Rally. Oh, Assetto Corsa Rally. This is not going to be developed by Kunos alone. Kunos will be providing the engine, as far as I understand the announcement that they have made. This is going to be partnered up by Supernova Games, which will be part of Digital Bros. And this is going to be on early access on the 13th of November this year. So it's in a next month. So it's going to be really, really close. So they want to do a true to life rally simulation. So for those of you who don't like EA WRC, because it's not as true to life, or not like Richard Burns Rally, this could be closer to Richard Burns Rally, hopefully, or Dirt Rally 2. Because I really love Dirt Rally 2. It's going to have, for the start, 4 special stages with 18 variants set in Wales. I love Wales in gravel, and also tarmac roads in Alsace. So 33 kilometers of track. It's kind of small-ish, but rallies don't tend to be that long, to be fair. And then going to include at launch 10 cars, including Group B, a WRC, and Rally 2. So that's fantastic. And it's also going to have triple screen support for those of you who have triple screens. I'm not sure about VR. They don't say it. As for the complete game, it will going to have 120 kilometers of rally stages. They say it's faithfully recreated rally stages using laser scan technology. 10 special stages with over 35 variants in 5 international rallies with new roads, and the content will be added continuously, probably via DLC. And it will have a roster of about 30 cars, a little more than that. And it's going to have a rally school, a career mode, triple screen, and VR support. They are also stating that each car has been recreated using laser scans and official CAD files, so it's going to be like totally accurate. It's going to have advanced damage system, authentic sound recordings, and co-driver pace notes. I really love the pace notes of Dirt Rally 1 and Dirt Rally 2. Dirt Rally 1, it was absolutely fantastic, and I hope that they are going to get that right. So that's a lot of stuff for today. Really a lot of stuff. Podium pedals, podium wheelbase, but now more content coming for Assetto Corsa EVO and also Assetto Corsa Rally. For me, this is really hugely exciting, especially for Assetto Corsa Rally and Assetto Corsa EVO content. But let me know in the comments, what you think of this and what you are most eager about.